You're listening to Living Podcariously, bringing you real men's perspectives, unfiltered, unapologetic, and uncensored. Recorded live in the Living Podcariously studio in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida.
And welcome to Living Podcariously. This is our post-Christmas show. My name is Adam. I am one of your hosts this week. Sitting to my left is the beautiful...
Hi, I'm Andrea Joy.
Oh, yeah. And across from her in studio is...
Oh. And next to them is...
Oh. What? Where did the rest of our hosts go? No, I'm just kidding. All right, Tach is out this week. We knew about that. Tach's out this week. He's actually got some schedule conflicts with his job, and Jay's car saga has kicked his ass again, and he is in Communicado? No, in Carcado? I don't know what you would say with that, but his car is broken, so he couldn't make it up here. It's a hell of a drive for where he's got to go.
Sorry, my boob keeps hitting the bottom of the mic.
That's not a mic, baby. That's my dick. So yeah, it's just me and Andrea in studio this week. We have a guest coming in later to do an interview with us. His name is Allie Newell from 26.2 Crossfit. Really cool guy and really, really knowledgeable on CrossFit. So hopefully he can give us some tips and tricks and some insights and some stuff like that. So he'll be in a little bit later, but the rest of the show is just me and Andrea. And we're doing this naked this week, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, oops, wait, hold on.
I'm going to take it off.
All right, ready?
Okay, perfect. So it is the 26th of December when we're recording this, so we just went through Christmas, Andrea.
I'm so sad. I hate it when Christmas is over.
Well, I'm kind of enjoying not having to listen to Christmas music for like the 14th day straight in a row.
No. I only listened to it the last week. We only listened to it in here like 2 or 3 days.
If we didn't have it playing somewhere in a car, in the house, Andrea was singing it. So it is it's a nice break. After Christmas, no more Christmas music.
Oh, that's not true.
So real quick, how was your Christmas, Andrea? I kind of already know this, but the listeners don't.
My Christmas? It was fabulous. I felt like a little kid on Christmas who got everything that they didn't even know they wanted.
Did you get an engagement ring?
No. Oh. I got 3 other rings, though.
That's right. I bought Andrea some rings from a local friend of the podcast. What's the name of her? Your Crystal Shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that what it's called? What's the name of her shop?
Is it My Crystal Shop?
Your Crystal Shop or My Crystal Shop or whatever. Kathleen is her name. And she's got a lot of nice stuff in there, and she deals with rare gems. So I bought Andrea some rings, none of them being an engagement ring, irrelevant of where she wears it, but none of them are actual engagement rings.
Well, you know my ring finger size, so they were all way too big for that.
That's true. I do. You got the smallest damn fingers I've ever seen. A 4.5. Holy shit! If ever there was a time that I would want to take it in the butt, I'm just saying, your fingers are small enough where I might consider it.
I got a lot of other jewelry too, but when I had moved, I had lost everything, all my costume jewelry, everything. So I was borrowing my 11-year-old daughter's necklace and stuff just to have jewelry to wear. So it was nice to be replenished with some costume jewelry to have. Now I need a jewelry box. And
Santa may have brought the best gift for the Poston family that he possibly could have brought. He brought Rock Band to include the 4th instrument. He brought a second guitar as well. So we've got 2 guitars, the drums, and a microphone. And I think it goes without saying who is going to be on the microphone the most out of our little family. That would be Andrea.
Adam. Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Me? No. You
I don't know. I was pretty good at the guitar.
You were? You were pretty good at the guitar.
You were pretty good at the drums.
I was surprised. I have no rhythm, and I'm surprised I was good at the drums. But yeah, that was fun. Drums were pretty fun. Plus, Santa brought a plethora of other things to the kids. So we've got on our Facebook pages, our private Facebook pages, you can see pictures of our little Christmas and our family. It was nice.
It's like the one picture we have because we were horrible. I forgot my phone anyway for my family's Christmas at their house. And then I'm just bad at taking pictures in general because I like to live in the moment and not have the phone out.
That's when I took Josh, when you and I took Josh, my son, to go watch one of the SpaceX launches where the rocket lands back on the ground at Kennedy Space Center. It was a night launch, and he was so adamant about wanting to record it. When we got there, just moments before it was launching, he was trying to figure out his phone on how to record it, and he was screwing it up. And I said, listen, sometimes events are better in your memory than anything that you're going to record. So I said, this one time, why don't you put the phone away and just enjoy it and experience the, rocket taking off and coming back and landing in person, and then tell the story to those who you want to share it with, as opposed to he thought that was kind of neat. So it put a neat little twist on experiencing it in the moment in reality, as opposed to through something electric.
Speaking of that, I think it's cool. I got you the picture. It was the first missile launch from Cape Canaveral in 1950.
That's right. It's right here over my head in the studio now.
And it's got all the photographers down there, and I just thought it was such a cool picture.
It was. Irrelevant of presents, because presents to me don't make the Christmas. What made this the best Christmas I've ever had is because I've got you in my life.
Aww.
And I know that sounds cheesy, but guess what? It's true. I would hear Tach saying "gay" in the background.
No,
right now,
that would be Jay. Tach would be saying "aw."
Tach would be crying and holding my shoulder, I think. But yeah, it was a good, and thank you. You made this Christmas wonderful.
You made
really
this
did.
Christmas wonderful.
No.
As everyone turns off the show.
Yeah, they're like
okay, romantic show. What?
So Andrea for Christmas, I don't know if that's a Santa present or if it's an Andrea present. I couldn't remember. Andrea for Christmas is helping out the podcast. So my hobby is all the shit that's in this studio. So for Christmas, she brought me 2 additional condenser mics, one of which she's talking on now, and a cool ass vintage mixer. It's a 6-channel old vintage mixer. This thing's got vacuum tubes in it. It's so old, but it is a classic. So Tach is going to help me clean that out, and maybe here the next episode we record, we'll be actually using that brand new, well, not brand new, but brand new to me, new mixer for that show. But it is awesome.
Is that while we play your shot glass roulette game?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You know what? I can't remember all this. You spoiled the shit out of me, so I can't remember everything I got. But yeah, that too.
I can't either. I'll be at work tomorrow, and I was like, "What did Adam get you?" I know they're going to, and there's no way I'm going to be able to remember it all. I should have put it all together yesterday and took a picture of it, so I'd be like, "Here, this is what it was."
That's a good point. Yeah, we should have. I think our kids had a pretty good Christmas too, so we're very lucky to be in a spot where we can afford to get them nice things. And to kids, it's not about things really, but sometimes it kind of is.
Yeah.
Kids like their things.
Well, it's been years since I even got presents being adult kids, and the people I dated didn't choose to get me presents, so
I didn't have to look good in your eyes. I didn't have to step up too much to the plate. Just bringing you one present would have been good.
Hey, just coming to my family Christmas was a step up. Which is funny that I say that because my ex-boyfriend never wanted to show up to any of my Christmas dinners or Thanksgiving or anything with my family.
But what happened this year? That was a little awkward at first.
You saw the text first.
Yeah, and look, I love Andrea's mother. She's a sweet woman. She's sentimental at her heart. You can see it. And her heart may be bigger than it needs to be at times because she wants to please everybody. And she sends a text Christmas Eve. I don't know what. No, it wasn't. It was Christmas morning, wasn't it? Or
No,
was it Christmas Eve. Was it Eve? Okay. She sent a text Christmas Eve saying, "Hey, by the way, this guy, let's just call him John, is going to also be joining us for Christmas dinner tomorrow on Christmas Day." And John would be Andrea's ex-boyfriend, who is a drug user, heavy drug user, and kind of upside down in her bank accounts a little bit. So let's just say
he liked to borrow my credit card when I was asleep at night and go buy himself things.
And the most important part of that is Andrea's daughter is very uncomfortable around this guy. So not somebody you would want at Christmas dinner. So Andrea, I'm proud of her. She put her foot down and said, yeah, we're going to be there from this time to this time. He's not welcome until we're gone.
I was nice. I said he could come if he was coming to bring back the
the money,
all the money for the credit card.
Oh, yeah, it's it was uncomfortable a little bit, but not really, not for me. I know it would have made Andrea and her daughter uncomfortable, but it's all right. It worked out. The mom figured it out and put two and two together and made the sacrifice. And I think she chose the sacrifice in the right direction. She said, "You're not allowed here."
Yep.
So,
she was just making him little to-go bags of all the food I brought to send to him when we left. Exes. They ever disappear.
We were doing really good Christmas Day, getting together the family, getting dressed, showered, getting ready to leave. Andrea, you had prepared a bunch of food, and about the time that I'm getting changed upstairs, I'm thinking it's really, really hot upstairs in the house. But you had kind of left the blinds open, so the sun was coming in, so maybe that heated up a little bit extra. Yeah, about 30 minutes before we're supposed to go over to Andrea's parents' house for dinner, I discovered that the air conditioner's broken. It's if it's not raining, it's pouring in this house sometimes, it seems. But where are you going to find a guy that's going to repair an air conditioner on Christmas that's not going to charge you triple what they would normally cost because it's Christmas? So I was stressed out about that. I'm not a repair guy or a maintenance man or whatever, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing inside there. I checked the filter and it was soaked. So I'm like, great. So the ground is wet. The filter's wet. Probably either froze up, and this is a brand new air conditioner, so it's not going to have something that's mechanically wrong with it. So either it froze up or maybe the drain is clogged, but I didn't have the time to look at it then. So I gathered my stuff and we headed out the door.
And then it poured down rain. I had this stuff waiting on top of the car, the food and everything, while he's checking out this, getting frustrated. Spent all the time doing my hair, so I looked good for Christmas. And we open the door and it's pouring rain. I have to run out there to save the food. And it's just this freak 30-second shower, enough to just make me feel like I just was in the shower.
Florida is that way. Florida can have a storm while it's still completely sunny outside. You could be getting a suntan or a burn while you're getting completely rained on. It's just how Florida is sometimes. And yeah, she's right. It was a really quick squall. It just popped through and it was a very, very short rain, but it just rained right on our house and right on our car and right on Andrea's nice, beautiful flat ironed hair. So yeah.
Oh, the snowman cheese ball.
Yeah. Can't forget the snowman cheese ball. Those were awesome, by the way. I like those. But anyway, it was a good Christmas. We made it.
We got all the bad stuff over with before noon.
Within a few minutes of each other. And good short story, the air conditioner turned out to be just a clogged drain. So I cleaned out the drain, the big ass drain, blew it out, and we're fully functional.
And my hair didn't frizz up, and the snowman cheese ball got eaten, and everything turned out.
And we didn't have a bad run in with John, the ex-boyfriend over there. So we were good there too.
I was about to be like, who's John?
All right, so we're gonna take a break in studio real quick. We're gonna come back with an interview from Allie Newell with 26.2 CrossFit. He's a potential sponsor for the show for 2017. We're in talks, but I wanted to give him an idea of what it's like in studio in here and doing the recording with us. And by the way, from what I hear, he's got a hell of a voice.
Ooh, does that mean you're going to get a boner?
He's got I might. Just might. All right, we'll be right back.
This and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and can we do it again? Do the Harlem Shake.
Hey, it's Adam. If you enjoyed the content or the cast of Living Podcariously, be sure to check out the other show we produce. It's called The Twisted 10. Each week, a host or a guest host takes over the show and brings their own unique and original top 10 list to the show. Here's a few examples. Top 10 crazy religious practices. Top 10 sexual fetishes. Twisted Guinness World Records. Top 10 possible human extinction events. And my personal favorite, top 10 best or worst infomercial products. As you can see, the content is all over the place for the show. However, it is a lot of fun to produce, and we hope you like it. As always, thanks for listening.
Did you email me those questions and I didn't see it?
No, okay. I just wrote those a few minutes ago. Usually with any guest, I send them a list of general questions that we're going to ask.
We did much the same thing with a radio show called MoFit.
Oh, cool.
Mud Obstacle and Endurance Fitness. And the host of the show ended up becoming one of our trainers.
Really?
Oh, wow.
So it just, we meshed so well on the communications that he came in to meet me, and one thing led to another, and he ended up being one of our coaches.
Well, one of the things I want to do for sure, if it works out, is transition into some kind of CrossFit for myself. And I talked to you about that a long time ago for me as well. That's something that I want to do.
It would be a novel thing to have somebody that could have a weekly discussion of, I heard about this CrossFit thing. It was scary as all get out. I see these people on the CrossFit games that can eat their grandmothers and throw tractors across a stadium. And I felt like I could do something of that sort, and was met with a coach that told me that his gym was like a buffet. And while I didn't have to be able to throw a tractor across a stadium, I could start wherever I was. I didn't have to get fit to get fit. I didn't have to eat before I went out to the buffet.
Very cool.
So, to have your position in this, to have a weekly sit down where you could say, this, as from starting out, I'm going from the couch to CrossFitter. This is what my first week was like. I went in and I got to talk about health and wellness and nutrition, and I'm sore in places that I didn't think I could be sore. And I found out that there's handicap rails for more than just handicapped people. Your first week of CrossFit, you're going to be using those for your trust fall onto the toilet.
Yep.
And as there's things that you're going to say that CrossFitters are going to hear that they're going to relate to. That, oh yeah, I remember going through that. And oh no, he's going to wait until he meets Fran. And there's going to be things that build up where people are coming back to you to hear what your next week is going to be, that have the experience, in addition to the people that haven't done it. And they're like, they want to be the person who is on the treadmill that can see how it goes without having to ask for help. Because nobody wants to ask for help. Everybody wants to be normal, and they want to be knowledgeable, and nobody wants to appear ignorant. So in what you're doing, we could maybe get a virtual treadmill set up where people could get on the treadmill and listen to what you're doing and watch what you were like on the machines.
We have a few friends that listen to our show specifically when they go to the gym. That's their regiment. Now, we release once a week for this show. We also have a second show that we do as well. It's a top 10 list show. I think you saw that as well. They listen to both of those throughout their week. And we only do 2 shows a week for these people, but they told me that that's one thing they do. The funny thing is when they're listening to some of our shows get really funny, and laughter is contagious. So when they start laughing at the gym, they get the weirdest looks from other people because nobody can hear what's going on in their earbuds. So they get the weirdest and strangest looks while they're doing their, free weights or whatever they happen to be doing. But, all right, let's bring back the segment and start with some of the questions and things like that. So welcome back to Living Podcariously. I want to thank a friend of a friend of a friend for setting this up. One of our mutual friends, Kim Kennedy, put me on to this gentleman a long time ago. And through just time that has passed, we haven't really set up the interview yet, but we got you in here at least for this interview tonight. With us right now, and is it, how do you pronounce your last name for
Newell.
It's just Newell?
Yep.
Okay. With us tonight is Allie Newell from 26.2 CrossFit. So welcome to the show, Allie. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you very much.
All right. Allie is the owner, runner, manager. What, how do you call it of 26.2?
It would depend on how much trouble I'm in when we're having a discussion. For tax reasons, I'm the owner.
Okay, good.
For purposes of programming and running the gym, we have a head coach, Shane Turner. He takes care of most of our programming and the day-to-day dynamics of the gym. But my job is to make sure that the doors stay open and stay educated and motivated. And plus, I get to work out some.
Exactly. Yeah, no kidding. That's the benefit of that for sure. So let's first get some details on your gym. Where's it located? And how can people contact you? Things like that before we get into some of the questions. Because let me tell you, CrossFit questions, I've got some stereotypical questions to ask you about what some people think of CrossFit. And then just some general questions about your gym and some of the background on it. So where are you guys located and how do people get a hold of you?
We are stashed away in Rockledge. We are right on the center of Barton Boulevard on an off street. If you were to take Baldwin down to the end, you would find us at the corner of Baldwin and Hawk.
Okay.
So 402 Hawk Street, Suite E. Look for the giant bay doors and the Facebook thumbs up on the side of the building.
Oh, you put a Facebook thumbs up on there?
We found a sticker. We put it on. It kind of fits.
That works. We haven't even begun to start. We want to do some of our merchandising as far as, some signs and some signage for the shows and things like that. And we haven't done any of that stuff yet. We don't have a storefront, so to speak. That's kind of the nice thing about a podcast. No overhead, really, other than the cost of hosting and some of this equipment. But we don't have to have any kind of storefront. But eventually we want to get a little studio here on the island somewhere to actually have a location to go to. But you guys actually have a real facility. So, and it's pretty neat. I saw some of the pictures online. Haven't been there yet. Allie's invited me down, Andrea, a couple of times, and I keep
I've been with you for a year, and you've been talking about it for a year.
I procrastinate like the best of us.
I'm not sure what the lead-in is for CrossFit. People, by the time they make it to me, by the time they make it to the phone call, from phone call to door, you're usually looking at anywhere from 3 hours to 6 months. I've had people that have started calling me in June to make it January 1st, and other people that were like, just, hey, I want you to take my money. When can I visit you?
Exactly.
So I would be interested to hear what the lead-in is from somebody who hasn't actually even called yet.
Yeah,
So-
no, I haven't. Yeah, definitely. Other than the little bit of conversations we've had through Facebook, I haven't done any of it. But one of my New Year's resolutions, and we'll get into that a little bit, but one of my New Year's resolutions this year is for sure to get back to the gym. And I'd actually kind of hinted at a stocking stuffer of doing some sort of gym membership, but we read a list last week of the 10 things not to get a guy for Christmas, and one of those things was a gym membership. So,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't have minded that. I would have been happy with that.
Well, let me ask with both of you here, and
Shoot.
possibly no experience in a CrossFit style gym. What do you expect from a gym? What do you think if you say you got a gym membership in your stocking, and you got over the initial, what does he think? I need a gym membership? Once you get over that initial, what could you possibly be thinking getting me a gym membership? Or what could you possibly be thinking getting me a frying pan? What?
Yes.
What do you think? And if you don't mind, Andrea, I'd like to start with you. What do you think about what a gym membership at my CrossFit gym would be?
Oh, a CrossFit gym? Well, all this stuff that I hear, taking about, like, I like the show, The Mindy Project. Or any shows like that. It's like the big butch girl is going to go kick tires. It's not like the feminine girl who wants to, do yoga or something like that. It's, the more sports type girls and stuff like that. I'm more of a musical theater type person who likes dance and stuff like that. So it seems very masculine more of a not feminine. So grunting guys and all that stereotypical kind of stuff.
Wait, that's in the bedroom. Hang on.
No.
Wait a minute. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's not completely out of bounds. But so let me ask you another question then. Let's say you were a ballerina. Would you think that a ballerina would have the same sort of a dynamic?
It's probably tougher.
So now a ballerina goes through the pretty much nearly the exact same sort of training that a CrossFitter would go through. You're going to walk into a facility. You're going to warm up. You're going to have a coach or an instructor show you exactly what you're going to do and exactly how you're going to do it. That coach and instructor is going to be there the entire time that you're there to make sure that you are coming up on point. You are hitting all of your steps. You're hitting all of your marks. You're performing safely, accurately, and in a way that's going to benefit you. You're not going to get strapped to a machine where we just hope that you don't get hurt. You're going to have somebody there that's going to show you exactly what it is that you're trying to accomplish, and you can talk to them about how it fits your goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to go through your 1 hour session of warming up, performing it, making sure it's going the way that it's supposed to go so you don't get hurt, a cool down, and then you leave. And the benefit of 26.2 over, say, a ballet studio is that you can call your ballet instructor at any point in time. Since we don't have any kind of a anti-scary as hell entry, you've got to just get over it and walk in the door. Once you do that, you're assigned a coach. So you have somebody that you're going to be able to talk to if you have questions about why does it hurt when I sit down? Or, well, it's because your muscles hurt. Or, what's the difference between coconut oil and olive oil? You have somebody that you can call and ask that question of. And that's one of the things that you would get from 26.2 as a CrossFit gym.
Nice. Do you guys work a lot with the nutrition side of it as well? Do your coaches? Okay, yeah, that's one of the questions that I had not written down on here. But the gyms that I've been a membership of in the past have either focused only on the membership while you're there, so things that you do. Hang on, let me take that from him, Ollie.
No squeakers.
It's his new toy.
What is a squeaky toy?
You know this. We reviewed this, buddy. You can't have squeakers during the show. Come on, go get another toy. Go ahead, go get it. All right, sorry.
Find another squeaky toy.
Yeah, well, we bought him a whole new
He's got
thing.
like 10.
His Christmas boxes this year.
I told him about it.
And there was probably 10 new toys, and every one of these things squeaks, but not the best for a studio. But no, so the nutrition has never been part of any gym membership that I've ever been part of, unless I paid for a personal trainer. And of course, your typical gym, let's use like Health First down the street. They're not a sponsor. This is just my personal experience with them. I paid $50 a month for membership there. And then it was just use of the facility. It didn't include anything other than like your first tour visit, whatever. But it didn't include anything like nutritionists or personal trainer to show me what I need to do to hit my goals. I had to pay like $150 for a 2-hour session if I wanted something like that. It was a lot more expensive. And I understand the purposes of paying trainers. That's what they go to school for. That's what they educate themselves on. And I don't. So that's a good thing to absorb. But how does 26.2 work with members? So if I bought the basic membership, I don't even know how the packages work, to be honest. You might want to educate me and some of our listeners. But if I bought the basic membership, would I have the ability to reference one of those trainers and get that nutritionist advice as well?
So you've legitimately asked probably 7 questions.
Yeah, no, I have a tendency to run on at the mouth a little. Sorry.
Let me go with, to compare apples to apples, when you walk in and you have a membership with whatever gym you go to, not to name any names or single any particular gym out. If you walk into a gym and your membership is somewhere between $5 and $50 a month, chances are better than not you're simply renting the use of the equipment in that gym.
Sounds about right.
You are not getting the benefit of having a personal trainer or somebody that you can talk to about either what your goals are, whether or not they're reasonable, or how you can attain them. You are simply paying to use the equipment in that facility and for it to be clean and free of MRSA and many, many other types of viruses.
Those are very good
grossness.
things.
MRSA, I think I went to high school with her. Oh, no. Ignorant, sorry.
That's what you're paying those facilities for.
Gotcha.
So, and then you bring up the $110 trainer. So, and that's not an unreasonable cost for somebody who is going to be helping you every step of your way, just you and them.
Sure.
A CrossFit gym is generally more expensive, but it's because a CrossFit gym is more expensive generally because you're getting not so much a one-on-one personal trainer, but you're getting a trainer in a class. So you're not paying the full $110 an hour for the personal trainer. You and everybody else in the class is paying that fee. So you're sharing the cost, and that's why a CrossFit gym is $120 a month, $75 a month versus some of the other gyms that are $5 or $15 or $35 a month.
Right.
The cost, if you were to compare apples to apples, what you're getting for what you're receiving, what you're paying for, your value, the CrossFit gym has actually a better value.
I ended up paying for a gym for 2 years that I didn't go to because you have to physically walk in to cancel it. You cannot do it over the phone. And I just never had time because it was too far away and I moved. And I didn't notice it until I was like, oh my gosh, I've been paying for this for 1.5 years and I've not gone. And they would not cancel it whatsoever.
That's a valid point. And most of the CrossFit gyms, and I say this knowing most of the owners in the gyms, it's an incredibly friendly community. There's very little. The CrossFit gyms in the Brevard County community aren't competing for each other's members. There are 7,000 CrossFitters. There's 20,000 people in our target demographic. There's really no reason for us to argue over the 7 that are already in gyms. We're looking for people that haven't made it in yet. So to say this, a CrossFit gym, most of the, and I'll call them Globo gyms.
Yeah, that's from what's that movie?
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball. Yeah.
Most of the Globo gyms are set up to get as many people to pay for a membership as possible and hope that they don't all show up at the same time.
Or never show up.
Well, that would be even better. At a CrossFit gym, if you don't show up for a week, you're going to get a phone call. If you don't show up for 2 weeks, people are going to ask where you are. The people that you work out with are people that you make kinships with and friendships with, and they will call you out on Facebook if you don't show up at the gym. Like, where were you? I was there at 6:30 in the morning, and you were not. What's up? So
I think you found a new friend, by the way. I sent a text to my son, told him to come down here so we can have Ollie go up there. He's in a mood to play, I guess.
I'm having an amazing time keeping him off. Right. I think things are going pretty well.
All right,
so far.
Sorry about that. He's usually not that rambunctious in studio. All right, I interrupted you. Sorry about that.
No, actually, I'd come to the end of that. But as far as the nutritional coaching in the state of Florida is something you cannot charge for unless you are a dietitian. So you have to actually have a doctorate in order to charge somebody to give them nutritional advice.
A dietitian has a doctorate?
Wow. I think I might be talking out of class.
The last dietitian. Well, I don't think it was. The diet they told me when I went to the Island Weight Loss Clinic, that it was like from the 90s. She was like, okay, for breakfast, you can have 1 egg and 1 slice of like wheat toast. And I'm like, if I'm on my feet, I'm a cosmetologist all day working, might not have time to eat lunch. I want to fill myself up with protein in the morning. 1 egg isn't going to cut it for all day. It's ridiculous. So basically it was like a 700 calorie diet that you're on, and you start out in the morning with very small amounts of food. So, and then at the time I was doing a show, so there were days I was telling him, I'm like, I'm negative calories today. And I made myself physically ill by the time we were in Tech Week. I had to miss work because I was sick. I just hadn't eaten, and I was exercising more than I was eating, and following their plan, that wasn't working to actually be functionable in life.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I know that in order for me to sell nutritional advice, I need to be a registered dietitian in the state of Florida. And I'm not. And that's why we don't charge for nutrition plans. And nobody else does, unless they're a registered dietitian. And a registered dietitian in the state of Florida is somebody that would run a cafeteria for a hospital.
Oh, okay.
That's what a registered dietitian is. Those people, it's okay for them to sell nutritional advice. So what you'll end up getting is they'll sell nutritional plans.
Nutritional plans. Okay.
What we do is we include free nutritional advice with your membership. So anybody can give you nutritional advice. The Department of Health and the Department of Agriculture is not going to come down and sue you because you gave the advice of don't eat chocolate chip cookies for breakfast to your son.
Wait a minute. Hang on. I'm not in this if there's no like snacks involved.
All they eat is soda and Little Debbie's. That's it. Drives me nuts.
So one of the things we also wanted to talk to you about is the basic obvious advice. And some of the gyms that I've been in membership of in the past put me on like a heart association diet. It was a good diet. I got to eat things like ice cream, sugared ice cream, like not the no sugar stuff. I won't even call that ice cream, but I got to eat ice cream and hot dogs and crazy things. But then I got to eat things like beets in there. I guess how their diet worked was it was a diet that broke each food group broke each other down. So the acids and bases kind of collided and they broke each other down, but also still supplied you with enough proteins that your body needed or something. So that diet was good, but I had to eat beets and I had to eat some pretty nasty stuff.
Ice cream and hot dog diet?
Yeah. Heart association diet. Yes. Yeah, that was what they put me on. It was good. Look, I lost a lot of weight, but mostly because, God, I don't want to eat half of the stuff that's on it.
Healthy.
Well, I don't exactly know how the diet worked, but how they sold it is that it literally, the foods that you ate helped to break each other down so your body's metabolism would work better. And yeah, I lost weight on it, but I also didn't enjoy my life for 6 months or so while I was on that one. Another dietitian or diet advisor told me, and this is from a gym, eat as much grilled chicken as I want throughout the life of the diet. I could eat my own weight every day in grilled chicken, he said, if I wanted to. And that was good. I enjoyed having a lot of grilled chicken, but man, dieting is not something I have a whole lot of fun doing.
So let's define terminology.
Sure.
So that we're able to move ahead, and we're speaking of apples compared to apples. A diet, by definition, is you're dying. You're accelerating aging. That's what dieting is. Take a look at anybody who survived a concentration camp. Those are not healthy human beings, but they were dieting.
That's a good point, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Ethiopians, cultures of starvation. Look at any of them. Those are all dieting people. Is that your goal?
No.
Well, you want to really ask yourself and be honest. What is your goal? Do you want to be skinny or do you want to be healthy? Is your goal to lose weight? Cut off a limb. Is your goal to be healthy? Well, then your weight really doesn't matter. The only person that knows how much you weigh is you and your doctor. And this is the only two people that care. What matters more is how do your jeans fit? Mm-hmm. How do you look when you're standing in front of the mirror in a bathing suit and a pair of baggies?
I haven't looked at that in a while.
What truly matters? Are you buying into the marketing of the diet, the diet culture of I've got to lose weight, I've got to lose weight, I've got to lose weight, of the roller coaster ride that the industry is selling? Walk into any bookstore and walk into the diet and nutrition section, and it is ridiculous. Try to find 4 different books that talk about 4 different things. You won't have any problem at all. It's
400.
It's ludicrous.
Yeah, you know what, though? Not just the American society, but a lot of the international society is all that they're doing is playing on the vanity of the world, because everyone is vain to a level of extent. And if you can sell something that lets people focus on their vanity a little bit more, it's a sure thing. There's no question about that.
Let me say, it's marvelous to live in a culture where I can make a living off of what I do. It truly is. It says a lot about the country that we live in, that we are at a high enough level that we can spend the time and effort that we're spending on how we look and how we feel. There are other cultures that put in a lot more time and effort into how they perform. And, well, that's essentially where CrossFit comes in. CrossFit is a performance-based evaluation. It's weighable, measurable, repeatable, and it's something that's worked across all domains of fitness. So no matter what it is that you want to be good at, if it's longevity, if you want to stay healthy longer than anybody else and stay out of an assisted living facility, being able to move full range of motion through squats, to pick something up off the floor and put it over your head. So there's this old story about a doctor and a CrossFit coach that are talking about an 80-year-old woman. And the coach says to the doctor, "Hey, would you mind if Granny came and did CrossFit with us?" And the doctor laughs. And he goes, "God, no. Are you kidding? She would explode or implode or get just flat mushed." And so the coach says, "Well, how would you feel if we taught her to go to the grocery store by herself and buy a bag of cat food off of the bottom shelf, put it in her cart, and when she got home, put it on the top shelf?" And the doctor goes, "Well, that'd be great. We want her to be as independent as possible for as long as possible." And the CrossFit coach says, "We just teach her how to do that. Deadlifts, picking something up off the ground that's got some weight. Cleans, putting it to shoulder height so that you can put it into the basket.
Nice.
Overhead press so you can put it on the top shelf." These are
nice analogy there.
These are movements that we use as human beings every day. And this is what we teach in the CrossFit gym. We teach multiple muscle groups across multiple joints. I hate to go visual on radio, but
no, it's all good.
I have to. So let's take a curl.
He's taking his pants off now in studio.
I'm twirling my shirt over my head, and I am wearing Candy Cane undies. So imagine, go ahead, all of you right now, stand up and do a 12-ounce curl. Act like you're drinking a beer. Okay, now look at your arm. How many joints are moving? Your wrist, your elbow, your shoulder. You've got 3 joints and your muscle groups, all the muscles in your forearm, all the muscles in your bicep. There's even some stuff happening in your back when you're bringing it up to your mouth, right? But now, okay, set your imaginary beer down and grab your imaginary dumbbell and do a regular curl. Now what's moving? Just your elbow, just your bicep. All right, so when are you going to use this in everyday life?
Yeah, very rarely. Other than when I'm flexing in the mirror, that'd be about it.
And
you incorporate those additional moves in your lifting just to teach.
Everything we teach is multiple muscle groups across multiple joints in a fashion that's weighable, measurable, and repeatable, so that you can look at it today and look at it a month later and see improvement in yourself. The goal of what you're doing is to make yourself a better human being, not to be better than Danny Aiello or Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Dang.
Or
That's what I wanted to be.
Rich Froning. Your goal is to be better than you. Your goal is to make you a better person than you were yesterday. And if that's not your goal, then what are you doing on the planet?
Good point.
You're wasting your time and effort. Something put you here. Make the best of it. We can show you how you can move in a way that makes you efficient and healthy and happy.
We're going to start a new podcast because his voice is fucking dreamy. I'm just saying. Allie, you've got a hell of a good voice for any kind of broadcast. I know you've been told that before, but...
I did radio for a while in school.
Actually, we did talk about that on the phone. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, your voice is very, very smooth.
I was trained well in school.
I wish I could have hooked you up to one of the nicer mics. I had missing one cable for it.
I just want to be able to wave, and when I stop... the arm stops too. Instead I keep waving.
That's teacher arm, and it happens a lot. There are specific things that we can do for it. And, I really did just glaze over your nutrition question, and I feel bad about that. So we were talking about diet being accelerating aging, which is nothing that anybody wants to do. I mean, the whole point of looking better and feeling better is that you don't look or feel older.
Exactly.
Nutrition is something that you could run your whole life on. So a diet is something you would do for 30 to 60 days, and it's something that you would do as a cleanse. And now when I say cleanse, I don't mean a juice cleanse, because we work with rescue athletes. We work with fire, military, police. We can't give somebody a cleanse where they're going to be in such a nutritional deficit that they would pass out. Because if these people pass out, they're the, in case of emergency, push here button.
Yeah, they are those guys.
They are those guys. That's what they do. And to take that from them or put them in some kind of a deficit, even for a day, is threatening the lives of them and all of the people that rely on them. These guys are links in a chain. And if one link is weakened because he wanted to have 6-pack abs, it's rude, and it's not a liability that we were willing to take on. So our nutritional programming is based on, it takes longer, but it's something that you can maintain for your life. Your first week, you get to eat ice cream and hot dogs.
Excellent.
You get to drink sodas, and you get to eat ho-hos. It doesn't matter what you eat or drink or use in your first week. We're setting up your nutrition plan off of what you generally eat. So take somebody from a Cuban or a Latin culture.
Damn, I wish Jay was here. He's our one of our other co-hosts that usually sits in his. He's got his father's. I don't know which one it is. He's half Colombian, so he's from the motherland, Bogota.
Well, now and that would be a perfect example. Ask him how difficult it would be to walk into his family home with his mom and dad and say, we can't have rice anymore. And just look at the bodies that would start falling to the wayside.
No, leave.
You know what? You might as well just walk in and say, hey, why don't you cut off 3 fingers?
Yep.
Because rice is such an integrated part of their culture.
It is a staple in any Latin culture, yeah.
And it's amazing.
It's like pasta in Italy. You can't have a meal without
filler.
it.
Takes on any flavor of anything.
And it's a filler. That's exactly right. So if you're not hungry every 2 hours, chances are you ate a filler. And it's still sitting in your gut trying to figure out what to be used for. But to get back to the analogy, so we had to build on nutrition plans on what people are already eating. So if you're eating rice and beans in your everyday life, and we see that in your first week you've made 5 dinners with rice and beans, we're not going to pull rice and beans from your plate. We want you to be able to follow a nutrition plan that's going to work for you. We don't want you to follow a nutrition plan that is going to work for the grape nuts industry, or for the Kellogg's industry, or for the Lucky Charms industry, or for the hot dog industry. We want something that's going to work for you. And what works for you is what you already eat. So if we can start your plan off of what you're already eating, the first week you eat whatever you want. The second week we try to get you to have meats, vegetables, and some sort of a fat source in every meal. It can be what you're already eating. The third week, we try to narrow it down a little further. The fourth week, it's going to be cleaned up a lot. That might be the week where you lose your rice and beans, but it's just for a week. After the fourth week, you'll be able to sit down with us and say, I want to eat the way I ate on the first week. And we'll be able to say, not if you want to get where you want to get.
Right, exactly.
But the second, third, or fourth week, you can decide what it is that you want. And you're also going to have, we use a nutrition log. So you can look at, hey, I felt amazing on Friday. And you can look back and see, what did I eat all through Friday to feel so amazing that night? And then when you have something coming up, the mother-in-law is coming in, you're going to have to move. There's something that's coming in that is going to be just absolutely horrible. You can eat your super meals that you've proven work for you, not for me. And you can have them before this horrific incident. So at least you're ready.
Yeah. So I always saved up my calories for my wine. Like, okay, well, I can only have so many, and that's 100 calories, so I'll just skip lunch, and then I can have a couple glasses of wine.
Do you guys focus on your calories? Do you guys focus on when you're giving the nutrition advice? Are you focusing on the caloric intake?
Stupid.
Or is it
calories are? Have you ever filled your tank, your gas tank with water?
Oh, with water? No, of course not.
But it was full.
Yeah.
Calories are the same way. It would be like measuring gallons.
Interesting.
Sure, calories are important, but what's in the calories is far more important to us. So we base ours on macros, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And so with only having those 3 things to adjust, if you're feeling weak, you can crank up your protein.
Almonds.
If you're having difficulty focusing, almonds are actually a fat.
But
So
they're
if you're having, they are amazing, and we use them all the time. If you wanted to increase your protein, if you were feeling weak, if you were having difficulty maintaining energy, you would increase your fat. If you're having difficulty getting started, you would increase your carbohydrates. So we only have these 3 things to adjust. Now, you don't have to be an Iron Chef to make a grilled cheese sandwich, right? So why is it that people feel they've got to know every single thing about every micronutrient in order to do a nutrition plan?
That's a good point.
It's not necessary. You don't have to be a dietitian that can run a program for the New York City Hospital in order to eat better. All you need is a little accountability and a shove in the right direction. And that's what we can give you. We can
a
give you somebody to
lifestyle
talk
change,
to.
not a diet.
Not even that drastic. I mean, not even as drastic as a lifestyle change. Just simply looking at what you're eating. You know what? Maybe the fact that I know that the cost of Little Debbie's went up in the last quarter might be a sign that I should probably take a
99 cents a
look.
box.
You know how upset I was about that?
And they taste worse than they did when I was a kid, so I don't even know why anyone eats them.
Smaller.
They taste like, I don't even know what it tastes like. It doesn't taste like, if I'm going to eat cake, I'd rather have like a homemade cake. Like actually have something that tastes good.
I prefer
this
my
packaged little thing.
I prefer my starches with icing.
Like that.
If I'm going to eat a starch, if I'm going to have bread or I'm going to have pasta, I'll put some icing on that thing. It's got to have some chocolate in it.
Nice. Let's go. So I've got some general questions specifically for 26.2. First, let's identify that for the listeners. Where does the term, and I know we've talked about this in the past, but for a non-athletic person, what were they called in another show? Where it was a non-athletic regular person or something like that.
Deconditioned athletes.
Deconditioned athletes. I like that. For a deconditioned athlete like myself, what does 26.2 CrossFit? That's a cool little, term to hear, but what does that actually mean? What do those numbers stand for? So pretty basic one.
It's an excellent question. So, 7 years ago now, a friend and I started 26.2 CrossFit because we were tired of driving half an hour to a CrossFit gym. The plan was we came up with this brilliant marketing strategy because we teach running. Like I said earlier, we were teaching people to run and shoot at the same time, which means you can't bounce. And so there was a market for that. I used to go around and teach running clinics all around the state of Florida to teach people how to run efficiently and effectively and not get injured. And that's another story all into itself. So we were in the running community, and the running community didn't have a whole lot of CrossFit respect. And the CrossFit community didn't have a whole lot of running respect.
Gotcha.
So we thought what we could do, brilliant marketing, was we were going to call it 26.2, which is the distance of a marathon to attract runners.
Oh.
CrossFit, attract CrossFitters. By calling it 26.2 CrossFit, we were going to get everybody to come to us. Well, marathoners hate CrossFitting and CrossFitters hate running. So essentially, anybody who understands the name is treating us like we're the plague.
Oh,
but
kind of had the reverse effect there.
It really didn't go well. So the people that show up now are people that really want it, which actually works out even better for us because it takes a lot of the test dynamic out of it. But yeah, the 26.2 was probably a marketing failure.
I think it's a cool little, I knew that there was a history behind the numbers, but I didn't know where the hell it came from. I in a marathon, that doesn't make a lot more sense. So your general stereotype that a lot of non-athletic decommissioned athletes, might consider CrossFit is what they see on the their YouTube funny videos that they see, or maybe a little bit on TV. What is the big difference to you when you're trying to sell a CrossFit gym to somebody who doesn't know any better? The difference between CrossFit and a very standard run-of-the-mill, I pay to rent the equipment kind of gym. What's your difference in your head?
The difference to me simply is the safety of having somebody there who's going to be evaluating every move that you make. They're going to show you what the movement is. They'll be able to answer why you're doing it and how it's applicable. For the fire department, in order to use an exercise to teach firemen, we have to do what's called a job task analysis. I have to prove to whoever the chief is or the NFPA or whatever organization is in charge at that point, I have to be able to prove to them that the movement that we're teaching is applicable to the job. So machines that you get when you rent a gym membership was, like I said, they isolate movement. They're great for building muscle. They're not great for building coordinated movement. Unfortunately, life requires coordinated movement. If you were to use 3 or 4 different machines to get your initial curl, bending your elbow, your extension through your arm, and a pull up into your back, it would take 3 different machines to train the muscles it takes to lift a beer to your mouth. With a CrossFit gym, you are doing one movement. You're doing a clean. And the clean teaches you getting a piece of equipment off of the ground in an explosive motion through hip extension, building momentum on the bar, learning timing, momentum, and coordination to where you're doing something that you can do in everyday life. So the initial takeaway, a quick elevator sales pitch, I've got 30 seconds to explain to you the difference between a CrossFit gym and a standard gym, is applicability. Applicability to your life. A CrossFit gym will get you better at being outside, whereas a machine gym will get you better at a machine gym.
Yeah, I guess that makes a good point, because it's, sitting on that machine for biceps when your arms are literally rested against the pad. There's nowhere in life that you would actually use that standard movement. You would use more of a full body movement to grab or take or pull something or lift it up or whatever. You wouldn't actually use that. I guess that makes a lot of sense.
There's a big place for isolated movement. There's definitely accessory muscle use and isolation exercises. There is a place. There is an applicable place, but it's a place on the road. It's a brick in the wall. It's something that you have to add to. You can't just do that and expect to be awesome in the outside world. I want to be able to play beach volleyball and run a marathon and surf and swim and play lacrosse and play rugby. I can do those things learning coordinated movements. Don't get me wrong, I will still trip over a paint line in a parking lot. But when I go to the ground, I'm not going to put both arms out and break both my wrists and both my elbows.
Right.
My girlfriend Donna is amazing. We were doing a competition at Maverick CrossFit. She jumped up onto a 24-inch box, tripped, missed, didn't do the epic scrape your shins down the box, fall on your face, and lay like a turtle on its back. She tripped, fell across the box, tucked, rolled, landed on her feet.
Really?
Like nothing happened.
The acrobatic move right there.
I meant to do that.
I would love to have that ability, and it's something that I'm learning in through gymnastic movement, which is something that we also do in CrossFit.
I wouldn't be quite that graceful, Andrea, just so you know.
Yeah, me either.
You could be.
Yeah, no, I don't. Listen, I will give this a shot. I certainly will, and I'll give my full effort into it, doing my best, but I'll still have my klutz side of me.
Just so you know, after a solid 9 years of doing CrossFit, I was out running with my partner, and we're running along and everything's going great. And I tripped over a crack in the sidewalk, and I went down, palm down, scraped. It was just a couple of seconds before I tucked and rolled and came out of it normally. But I still bled. And I knew getting up and running along beside him, I was laughing because I was bleeding. And I knew that Donna would have handled it much, much better than I would. More
graceful. Yes.
Wouldn't have even cut her skin, would have just rolled on out of it and just kept on going. But, I'm learning.
Donna is in studio too for the listeners. And she's going to come on next segment and give us it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
She's going to do a song and dance. Her own little jingle for the gym.
I like it. Actually, that leads into a pretty good question. So Andrea brought this up earlier when we were writing some questions and show notes for you when you came in. Generally women, and it's not only women, there's men that are this way as well, but generally the stereotype is for women that are very self-conscious about going into that gym, and especially at the beginning, like, breaking that ice to get out and actually do it is one thing, but showing up and getting in the gym and getting in front of other people who are gym goers is a pretty intimidating thing for everyone, but typically it's for women who are more self-conscious about something like that. What does 26.2, or how do you guys handle de-stressing those types of self-conscious people who aren't in the shape they want to be in, but they know that they need to do something to get there? How do you guys handle those situations?
Anytime you're making a change in life, it's horrifying. It absolutely is. You've reached a homeostasis. You're okay. You can make it to the grocery store. You can talk to your friends. You can cook your own dinner. You can meet all of your needs. but something has to change. You want to be healthier. You want to be better. And when the fear of staying the same is outweighed by the fear of change, that's when people come out of their shell. When they come to us and they take that initial first step, we're there to reassure them and help them through it. First off, the scariest part is walking in the door. Once you get in, once you get started, then your momentum will carry you the rest of the way. I wish I had an answer. I wish I had something that I could call up a stranger and tell them, hey, this really works. Look at me. Look at this person. You can go on our website and you can see our testimonial page, and you'll see people like Esther. Esther walked into the gym scared absolutely to death about what was going to happen to her, but she knew she needed to do something different. And this was something she tried. And you can look at her story. She'll tell you her best and worst experiences, and you'll get to see her picture. And this isn't your typical, your diet and diet industry picture. This is a real person. You could come and meet Esther. The same with anybody on our testimonial page. Take a look at it. It's something that will give you a chance to make an informed decision. Somebody who's sitting right where you're sitting, wondering exactly what you were wondering. Is this really worth it? Is it really worth the chance? And so stand up, you that's wondering that. Go stand in front of the mirror. Look at yourself and ask yourself if where you are right now is where you want to be next year. And if you say, yeah, I'm pretty good with this, then you've got no reason to come to us. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do for you. You're going to come in, you're going to be sore, and you're going to go home, and I'm never going to see you again. But if you truly want to make a change, if you truly have a goal in your life that you want to be different and better and healthier and have your life change and become something that you're proud of, that you want to show your kids, look, I've taken respect for myself. I've gotten this gift of life and I'm doing something with it rather than just letting it slip away. If you're in that place, then we can help.
Nice.
Then I can do something for you. But as far as getting over the initial hump of should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? I can't do anything with you there. Call me though. And we can maybe make some marks to get you going in the right direction.
You have a real future. If the gym thing doesn't work out, public speaking or motivational speaking and stuff like that, the way you phrase, I know this is just me nerding out, but the way that you phrase stuff together there is just like, I don't know, like you planned it or something. It's really well done. You have a good job, a good ability to speak. That's for sure.
I've got a hold of something with the gym that I never had before.
You can tell you're passionate about it.
It's really, I've gotten to see such profound changes in people that walked in and had just such incredible self-doubt, that were able to quiet the negativity in their own head, that were able to put aside the doubts and insecurities that they brought from school and family and friends, all of the naysayers that said that they couldn't do it, to stand up in front of them in a bikini. I had to shave first, but to stand in front of them and be proud of who they were, to show the people in their life that they can make a change. There's people in my gym now that go back to their families at Christmas and they just shake their heads. They're like, I can't believe that I lived this way.
Yep.
It's remarkable. And if you're not close to 26.2, you can go to any of the other CrossFit gyms. We are all built on the same dynamic. We're built on the dynamic to offer you a road to change where you're at. And the accountability and the friendships and the camaraderie that come with it. And some of our strictest nutritional plans have 4 ounces of wine every night. You can't skip and build it up to get a bottle on Friday, but you can still do it.
Nice.
That's a ripoff.
Most of our listeners.
What if you're exercising while you're drinking it? Is that not?
We actually have a strict policy. So to touch on the whole CrossFit is dangerous, we've had over 700 people come through our gym. And out of the 700 people that have come through our gym, we've had 7 injuries that were legitimate injuries. So we're looking at about a 1% injury rate. And there's very few other things that can show that. And these are actual numbers. I would be more than happy if anybody wanted to call me and say, tell me what the injuries were. 2 of them were injuries from people that we were doing fundraisers where they were doing pull-ups and they had been drinking and they fell off the bar.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't work.
So
one
was, it was.
I can't even dance very good at the club after drinking. You think you can, but it doesn't work so well.
As long as you think you're doing well, that's all that matters.
Liquid courage. Most of our listeners, for you as well, most of our listeners are Central Florida. So from Tampa over here to Cocoa Beach area, as far south as Miami, and then Jacksonville. So the core of our downloads and our listens are in that area. And a lot of them are Brevard. So we've got a ton of people that like us out of Brevard. However, our reach is certainly international, but also worldwide. So about 80% of our listens are from the U.S. The other 20% are international. So CrossFit to some of those countries might be foreign, but most of those are usually Americans that listen to us. But hopefully a lot of those listeners that are here in this local would take advantage of that and maybe come check out 26.2 or at least a CrossFit style gym that's, somewhere close to them.
Are y'all open late? Because I know for me personally, getting up early is not something I would ever do. Because I have a kid who goes to school, so we already get up at like 6:30, and that's getting her. So in order for me, I have to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and that wouldn't even give me much of an hour anywhere if I wanted to. So no.
Our classes are 1 hour long. Their goal is time management. So we're going to get you in and out, get everything that needs to be done in that hour. We've got a 5:30, a 6:30, and a 9 a.m. The 9 a.m. is actually our Busy Mom Boot Camp class. And it's for people that, once you've dropped off the kids at school and you're out of car line and you've finished trying to threaten or kill whoever was in front of you or behind you, then you can come into the CrossFit gym. And he's
been following you. He knows what you do in the line.
In a healthy manner and get rid of the aggression. In the evenings, we've got a 5:30, a 6:30, and a 7:30 class. We're talking about opening a 4:30 class.
Yeah.
But that's probably going to be mostly coaches for the most part. And we've got open gym during the day too. So.
And do people come in every day to do it? Because I work sometimes. I'm a cosmetologist. We'll work 9 to 8. So then where do people like that go?
When you run a schedule from 9 to 8, we would have to take your off days. You would have to come in on your down
Sunday
days.
and Mondays.
Sundays and Mondays. We have an open gym on Sunday where you could come in and work out, but you would have to be a membership. That would require the full membership. Our pay for 2 weeks, get 2 weeks for free does not get you Saturdays. That just gets you 3 times a week just to figure out whether or not you like us.
Sure. Okay.
But if you only have 2 days off a week to work, then generally what we would give you would be something about something to do for homework.
Yeah, usually you create schedules like that. You just got to put it in when you can.
So you mentioned Esther a little bit. Do you have any other noteworthy stories of any other people that have been to your gym that are have made life changes? I think you said Esther. Was Esther?
Esther.
Esther.
E-S-T-H-E-R.
T-H-E-R. Okay.
Anybody.
Any of them?
Honestly.
So you have a testimonial section on the website. We can go check it out?
We do. We do. And the search engine optimization crawlers actually flagged us because the things that people were saying seemed inflammatory and outrageous. So we had to put behind every one of them, these results are not typical.
Okay.
They really are. You can see the testimonials of the people that have come and have stayed and just, if you could meet them when they walked in the door, how, I don't want to say timid, but insecure and unsure and just doubtful of just the negativity that you build up over time in your own head, to go somewhere and be able to let that out is one of the things we do. We try to make it somewhere that you can come, that, people get 3 places in their life. They get work, they get home, and then they get the third place that's cool, that they go for them. We want to be the third place. We want to be Cheers. We want to be Cheers for healthy people.
Nice. I like that. Everybody knows your name when you walk in.
Yep.
Andrea's a little younger, so she might not know what Cheers is.
I'm like a year and a half younger than you.
I have a ridiculous problem with that in the gym. I'm 46 years old, so I make references to stuff that people are like, "What? My father listened to that."
Crap. Damn, you look good for 46.
Well, thank you very much.
You don't look 46. No, you look. I've got more gray in my beard than he's got in his head.
CrossFit is the fountain of youth.
Hey, I like that. You should coin that.
Could be.
That's pretty good.
I don't know if I could back that one up. I shaved today, so you don't see all the gray.
Yeah, I've got more gray than that's okay. One of the things, so just talking off of the questions that I've got here, one of the things that I kind of mentioned to Tach, one of our other co-hosts, and even our new co-host Jay a little bit, is doing something with some of our potential sponsors, like what you might be considering, is to do some kind of visit to their location, if applicable, if these sponsors have any place to go. And we talked about your gym a lot, and we were thinking of doing some kind of documentary to where we're recording both video and audio of maybe if we use Tach as the example of where he starts out, get some video of him going on his first day, he's working with one of your trainers, and then go and fast forward the video through several more weeks of Tach's transitions or even me of doing different workouts, and then showing the regiments that you go through, and then maybe ending it with, here's Tach after 8 weeks of working out. How do you feel? And then doing an interview on air with him, like, how did you feel when you went in, and versus how do you feel now, with hopefully more energy, more enthusiasm for exercise, and getting those endorphin rush from working out that stay in your body seemingly, hours after you're working out. I want that kind of thing. So do you have any ideas about what we could do with something with you guys for that kind of mini documentary for our show? Because I would love to do something like that to, number one, promote you guys, but also to have fun with it. Because when we go to a site, like we just got Bug Nutty Brewery, they're going to be a sponsor of ours, and that's like the anti-gym. I think that's your evil nemesis on our show. So we'll have a brewery full of tons of very vivacious beers and pastimes, and then the gym on the opposite end of that spectrum. So we're going to do a show over there with them, go in, maybe be there for a comedy night, those kinds of things. So we like to be really engaged with, the people who also are engaged with our show. So have you thought about anything that we could do with like a skit or some kind of documentary or something inside the gym?
We could go a long way with any of those dynamics. There's something that CrossFit.com aired. It was called Killing the Fat Man. If you want to maybe do a search on that, it is much along the lines of what you're saying. It was a gentleman who was deconditioned, would be a fair term. And he was tired of how he felt and how he looked. And he did a step-by-step documentary of his first time going into the gym. And it goes over at least a year. And it's a heartfelt story. It's not like Old Yeller. I mean,
sure,
you're not going to tear up, but you'll laugh and you'll also be able to associate. So what you're asking has been done, and I would be more than happy to set it up within our facility. We do a corporate plan where we have people come in, 5 or more from any corporation. We give a discount for that corporation to do it. We obviously would set something up that would work for you guys. Any way that you wanted to go, I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, one of our biggest supporters, or we were a huge supporter of World of Beer.
Nice.
Yeah, in Viera. And now we are a big advocate of the Village Idiot. So a brewery really is not our antichrist in any way, shape, or form.
I said it for the consumption side of it as opposed to anything else.
We are, I can't remember who said it. Was it Roosevelt? A life without beer is not a life worth living.
Yeah, I think that was him. And Jefferson
maybe
said,
beer or chocolate.
Beer is proof that the good Lord loves us and he wants us all to be happy. That's Thomas Jefferson. That's a great quote too.
I can tell you from my personal experience that the Commonwealth of Virginia suggested that I stop drinking as an organization, which is akin much to Guns N' Roses telling you that you're using too many drugs.
Yeah.
So I personally don't drink anymore, but we don't have any problem with breweries or anything of that sort. If the way that you're working and the control that you're taking of your body and the knowledge that you've gained nutritionally on how you're living your life, you can incorporate things like milk and cheese and chocolate cake and heavy beers.
That would be the one. Cheese.
Oh,
that's the best thing ever.
You can incorporate these things into your life. You don't have to suffer. It's not about getting nailed to a cross. I mean, you're here to live a life.
Anything, just not in excess. I mean, just
exactly. Know what it's doing to you.
Take anything out.
Be knowledgeable of how it's affecting your body. If it's inflammatory, if it's weighing you down, if it's detrimental to digestion, if it's just plain
Cheez-Its, Adam.
bad for you.
Oh, Cheez-Its are my bane.
He keeps eating Cheez-Its, and every morning he feels like crap. I'm like, did you eat Cheez-Its last night? Yes. Stop eating Cheez-Its.
And at midnight. That's the worst time.
Stop eating it.
If you can work out the whole no Cheez-It thing, just give me a call. Tell me how it works, because I got this combo thing. Buffalo combos. Just no. I can't even go to 7-Eleven.
Yep.
It hurts my soul.
How did you?
And they put them in the most innocuous places, but they're always right in front of you. Somehow they're always right there, looking up, wanting you to buy.
I was in Spain, and I found combos.
In Spain?
Spain.
They followed you.
I couldn't find halls. Now, mind you, they move everything around there. It's not where you expect it to be. So you're in there, and I'm looking for specific things. We're camping. So I'm looking for key items so that I can survive.
Camping in Spain?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I went rock climbing in Spain. It was something I've
That
always
sounds
wanted to
fun.
do.
That's beautiful.
And here we are in this ridiculous little grocery store, and just the culture is so different. And I found combos.
Wow.
I couldn't find the buffalo cheese combos. I was a little disappointed, but I still found combos, so I made do.
That's impressive. That's very impressive. Well, I know we've got a lot that we want to do with you guys on a personal level. I've talked to Kim in the past about it too, because she's been bugging me even before we, started doing podcast talks as well, but wanting me to come up there and join the gym and experience that stuff. I've never done a CrossFit gym before. I've done tons of other gyms before. I used to row when I was in high school, which wasn't that too terribly long ago, 20 years. So I was a big advocate of the, long endurance style stuff. I don't like that anymore just because I'm out of shape. But I think if I got back into that again, I could really enjoy that kind of stuff. I used to have a good rush, good high after doing a good, long row or long
Endorphins
race.
are way cheaper than crack, and they don't show up on a drug test.
Yeah, I guess, that's a good point.
That is true.
But
Not
I'm
hangovers either.
personally, I'm all on board for coming into the gym and doing some stuff. And I want to meet a couple of your guys' trainers and just give you what I want to do and see, if that's a possibility. I do have one question for you though. So, people
I've
with
got one I want to
injuries.
throw at you first too.
Yeah, shoot. Go ahead.
So you're getting ready to come into a CrossFit gym. Let's say any one of the listeners out there right now tonight. Think about what you want. Think about what your goals are. If your goals are, I want to look better naked, or I want to be skinny, or, if your goals are that vague, sit down, write down 3 goals that are specific. If I had a magic wand and I walked up behind you and I ping, touched you with it on the head, how would you know if you'd achieved your goals?
4.40 is what I would like to go for.
4.40?
4.4 second, 40 yard dash.
Okay.
A 4.4. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, that's a really valid point, though. That's a legitimate goal.
Yeah,
that is, I
that's
want
a target.
to get this. You have a target. You have something real that you can see and know when you achieve it.
Size 34
I want to wear Kiana's
pants.
clothes when we go to Cancun in August.
I don't want you to wear Kiana's clothes. She's way too skinny.
Because I don't have to buy any. She's very fashionable.
All right. That's how far out's Cancun?
I got 28 more pounds to go. I've lost 22 pounds since August.
Well, and now this is also, it's another valid point, and it's something that I love to talk about with women. So a woman will come in and she'll ask, hey, I want to lose 18 pounds. I'm like, fantastic. Cut off an arm.
I need those, though. It won't look good on the stage.
Okay, so there you go. So now there's going to be an issue. What would you rather be? Would you rather be fitting into clothes that are sizes smaller or lose 18 pounds?
I just don't want stuff to jiggle. I want to be firm.
So now that's a much easier thing to achieve than 18 pounds.
But
18
nobody
pounds,
understands that if you're just talking to other girls in a salon.
When you're talking to other girls in the salon, they're looking at the back of your arm. Does the back of your arm move when
all the time? Yeah, blow drying.
Okay, so you know what? Losing 18 pounds will help the back of your arm, but toning the back of your arm will help you be better at life. And so what we're going to do for you, you're probably looking at least a month before you stop dropping weight. And even when you do start dropping weight, you're only looking at maybe 4 pounds a week. And that's if you're doing really freaking good. So what we're looking at is that you're not watching the scale, that you're watching your clothes.
That's what I do. I hate
My
scales.
pants
Don't even
fit
have
better.
a scale.
My mom told me a long time ago, the quickest way to get a woman naked was to throw a scale in front of her. So
I like that.
we don't work so much on weight. I mean, we can do the whole body fat measurement, and I'll do that with you. We do that on consults.
Why
all
would
the
you
time.
want to know that stuff?
So that you've got something that's weighable, measurable, and
I didn't
repeatable.
need to know that stuff. It was like when I had my
Knowing where you
daughter, I
start
was
from.
over 200 pounds a year later. When it hit 200, I was like, don't even show me that scale. I don't even want to see it. But I had lost. That's when I joined the Y, and my sister helped me. But we didn't do the machines. We went to the back room and did our own thing. And I just had someone to watch the kid for an hour because she was a baby. But I lost 80 pounds through exercising. But I got to go every single day to the gym. And being now, she's 11 and I have to work and everything, you can't do that. You can't go every single
That's
day.
a good question. What's the regimen of your typical schedule of a person that comes into your gym? How often do you want them in there? As if you had a perfect ideal person, how often would you want to see them in your gym?
5 times a week.
5 times a week.
5 times a week.
But you know what? I've never felt better in my entire life than when I went every single day.
Well, we need to have you get 2 days of recovery because exercise is scientifically not good for you. What you're doing when you're exercising is you're breaking your body down. You're tearing down muscle tissue. You're tearing down bone mass. You're just beating the crap out of yourself. The benefit you get from exercise is in your recovery. Your recovery is where you get your benefits. It's where the muscle comes back stronger and faster and leaner.
That's when you drink the wine?
That's when you drink the wine. Yeah, actually, the wine is to level out
to
your
relax the
acid-base
muscles.
balance. It's to balance out the acidity. The wine is a base. So 4 ounces of wine at night will make you a little less acidic.
See, that's all you have to say is when somebody asks you about drinking, I'm just balancing out my levels, baby. That's all I'm doing.
I'm making myself sound like an alcoholic.
That's it.
Oh, no. If you want to talk about alcoholic, I got you there. Like I said, the Commonwealth of Virginia, that's where alcohol comes from. They were like, no, not you.
Oh, we heard Donna a little bit there. We heard it. She does exist. She is in the studio. So I've got a personal question. So I've been a little bit fearful to get back into a gym for about 4 years. And I went when I did work over in Iraq. I was over there for 2 years, and I got injured. And it was stubbornness is what got me injured, really. So what I did over there was set up satellites. I won't go into a whole diatribe about this, but I set up satellites, and it's for sure a 2-person job, if not more. And one of the bases of the satellites, it's a giant 9-meter dish. It's a big ass dish. One of the bases is about a 200-pound base that just sits on top, and then that swivels, and you have these big ass lug nuts and stuff you got to put in, whatever. And that's for sure a 2-person lift, if not a crane assist, we've got it in the area. But knowing where we were and the time frame that we had, I was given the get it done, I don't care what else breaks out there. Well, what ended up breaking was me. I tore a labrum and my biceps tendon clean off. So I've got 3 anchors in this shoulder now. I suffered the injury, went to a couple hospitals out there, came back. During the time over there, I also developed rhabdomyolysis. Have you ever heard of that? You know what that is?
I'm quite familiar.
Okay. And all of the entire upper body from that one injury was all swollen. I couldn't bend my arms. I couldn't close my hands. I couldn't do any of that stuff. It was ridiculous. After all that recovery has been done, I had to go through rehab for the shoulder after surgery was done, and I'm back to normal. And I had to go through all that. And I had a bunch of deteriorated muscle and all sorts of stuff. So I've been really nervous to use my right shoulder. I've got no pain in it now. I've got full range of motion, at least from what I remember. And I can lift up things and I don't have any pain. There's no struggles that I've got. But I'm nervous to go back into a gym and, start really working that shoulder out again, because I'm afraid that I'm going to go, set myself back to what I had 4 or 5 years ago. So how do you guys work with people who have maybe get a little PTSD from an injury that they're afraid to really work that body part out again?
We won't treat you any different. We won't treat you any different than we treat anybody else. And I say that with this in mind. You have the possibility of re-injuring tissue. I have the possibility of re-injuring tissue. Donna has the possibility of injuring tissue. You have the same likelihood of re-injuring that I have of injuring. So what we do is there's a lot of talk about how much you can lift. I'm sure you've had these discussions about,
sure,
I can lift this, I can lift that. We base your personal record, your PRs, your max lifts on where your form starts to fail, not where your body starts to fail.
Oh, okay.
So let's say you walked in and it's called a deadlift. A deadlift is when you pick a weight up off of the ground and you lift it to waist level. So it's how you would pick up a sack of dog food or pick a kid up off the ground or, grab your dog. It's how you get something from the ground to your standing. Deadlift is traditionally an exceptionally heavy lift where people usually have a heavier deadlift than anything else. We won't go into it, but there's strong
sure,
men in the gym that can lift well over 700 pounds.
Good gracious.
Not anything that I can come anywhere near lifting, but this is something that they specifically are trained at.
Right.
We would have you come into the gym, and even though your body physically could probably lift, let's say 225 pounds right now today, we wouldn't let you get over, if your form was crap at 95 pounds, that's where we'd stop you. Because if you go over that weight, even though your body can do it, you're taking a chance of learning improperly, and you're also taking a chance of getting injured. We would rather have you learn it slowly and properly the first time. And this is where you got to put your ego in your pocket. And a lot of people have trouble with that because they're like, no, I can lift more. And we're like, yeah, you really can, but let's learn to do it right before you get going any faster.
Yeah, I like that. I like that approach.
It's like getting on a Hayabusa. A Hayabusa will do 210 miles an hour. No problem whatsoever. You could get on that. You could shift it up into 6. You can just roll onto the throttle. I hope you're on 528. And you could head to Orlando and be there in 20 minutes.
Busa's the bike I want too. He must listen.
It is an exceptionally well engineered machine. We call them zip splats.
Yeah.
Zip splat.
I like that.
You wouldn't let a 16-year-old get on a Hayabusa without giving him motorcycle training.
Of course.
You wouldn't teach him, you wouldn't expect him to be able to manage a speed wobble at 80 miles an hour. You wouldn't expect somebody to be able to control a vehicle at 200 miles an hour that didn't know how to control it at 25, that didn't know the difference between the front and the back brake. That's what we teach. We make sure that you are able to move properly before you are. The chances of you getting to your genetic potential as a human being ever is ludicrous. Look at the people in the Olympics. These are people that compete their entire life to get a gold medal. Those are people that are at their genetic potential. What's the percentage of Olympic athletes versus regular people?
Yeah,
it's
uncountable. Yeah,
look at the people trying to get into the Olympics. These are incredible athletes. You and I will never get there. But if we teach you to move properly and safely, when you walk out into your garage and you go to pick up a bag of dog food, you're not going to be the guy who spends the next week walking around like, old Henry with your hand on your back. So we teach you to move properly. The fear of re-injuring tissue, I've got a second-degree separation in my collarbone from, we'll call it snowboard chiropractics.
Oh, goodness.
It was spectacular. Thank God I was unconscious for the rest of it.
Ouch.
From what I understand, had I not knocked myself out, I would have been injured far more than I was.
Oh, now your body went ragdoll and you just kind of tumbled?
Yeah, they called it a yard sale because all of my stuff just kept flying off. So I've got a separation here in my shoulder, and I understand injury. And sometimes you're at a point in life where, the injury is going to be painful no matter what. We're going to be able to help you to keep it from getting worse, even though we can't help it get better. And we deal with that a lot with football players.
Nice.
Football players come in and they've got such injuries to their knees and their shoulders and their necks and their backs that there's just nothing we can do for these guys except keep it from getting worse. They're going to be in pain forever.
I like the hands-on approach from a trainer that you guys have in there. And I'm sure mine's mostly psychosomatic, to be honest, but because I've never had a single thing after my full recovery, I've never had a single thing hurt, in the last couple of years.
Rhabdo's no joke. Once you make it through rhabdomyolysis once, you will respect it forever.
Yeah, that was not fun. When you
pee coke, that's what? You've killed some tissue in your kidneys.
Oh yeah. I had, not to go into too much of the details of this, but I had that suffered during overseas. So I was in Iraq when it happened. They stuck me in a field hospital in Iraq that got bombed while I was in it, but that's all right. Then they transferred me from there to Amman, Jordan, to a Canadian-run hospital in Amman because they didn't want to transfer me all the way back over to here in the chance that it was something else. They thought I might have had a DVT because I was getting both arms were getting huge, just giant puffy. I could easily, fill out this shirt. In fact, that's one of the things my medic saw. He's like, no, you've got either a DVT or rhabdo or something. We need to get you out of here now. And, that experience might have been more traumatic than the actual experience. Being overseas in a situation like that where none of your family's close, was in the hospital for 2 weeks while they were dealing with it. Yeah, that's not fun. So it's probably psychosomatic at this point, but I'll figure it out. All right, let's wrap up your interview. Do you have any questions for us? Because I want to make sure we get a couple plugs out of the way for you. The exact spelling of the website so people have the right place to go and things like that. Do you have any questions for our cast in here? Granted, it's half a cast. Or Oliver, because he's now, he seems to want to monopolize all of the time.
Oliver's now my new best friend.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm good. I can't think of any questions off the top of my head, but I probably will come up with some later on down the road.
Let us know. You're welcome in here anytime you want to come in. I hope something works out in this next year for us. 2017 for us, for both of our shows, is going to be kind of a big step forward for us. Just and a lot of podcasters don't like talking numbers because podcast numbers are nothing like radio numbers. Like a radio can broadcast out of Orlando can reach maybe 2 million people because of the airwaves. Podcasters are like on-demand movies. You don't broadcast on demand. People seek out those types of movies. So podcast numbers are always lower unless you're like a Mark Maron, an Adam Carolla, some big name in the industry. But I'm really happy to report the last 3 months for us, we've almost had 100,000 listens in 3 months. And that is giant for podcasters. So we know we've got something right. I think it's the combination of our cast and some of our topics with Jay. He's a stand-up comedian. Tach is a comic and a sound guy and a movie producer and just a cool guy in general. Andrea, the sweet and beautiful and innocent Andrea.
Makes me sound really boring.
And then me. Well, no, you mature our show a little bit. Anyway, I think the combination works and our numbers are growing, and we've got a couple of different potential folks that we're going to be working with right at the beginning of 2017. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun. That band, by the way, you mentioned the Village Idiot on January 1st.
2 to 5.
Yeah, 2 to 5 at the Village Idiot. They're doing the Hangover Party at Village Idiot, and it's a performance from our friends of the show, Hot Pink. Will be doing a hangover performance there. So if you happen to be in town on that day, go check out Village Idiot because it's going to be a pretty good show.
Oh, excellent!
So we're doing a ton of stuff with them next year as well. So we're really looking forward to it. But I would love to do some stuff with you guys. So the website is probably the most poignant to listen to because it's an interesting spelling. So it's 26.2crossfit.com. Well, the numbers that are in that URL are numerical. So 26 and then point is spelled out POINT. 2 is the number 2 and CrossFit is all spelled out as well. So 26.2crossfit.com. The words are words and the numbers are numbers. So that's
if you are in any way, shape, or form as illiterate as I am, we've actually got another link where 26-2 CrossFit.com works as well.
I like that.
And it will bring you there if you can't spell point.
Okay. I like that.
It's remarkable how many people have failed on the point.
Yeah.
Aww.
402 Hawk Street, Rockledge, Florida. Turn off Barton Boulevard on Baldwin. And your guys' number. So the number I have down here, is that yours? Your number? Is that how they get a hold of you? Is this 636-4206?
That's the gym number.
Oh, that is the gym number.
It rings
okay.
to my phone when I'm not coaching. When I am coaching, we put it off to voicemail.
Okay. So the number up there is 321-636-4206. And check them out. I'm going to be joining for sure. So you'll see Adam up there working out a little bit. Maybe if Andrea is interested, 2 of us will go up there together to do it. But
to start out with, we recommend that you do a foundations class. In fact, we insist on it to make sure that you're moving safely and properly. And the time dedicated to teach those movements is more on foundations. So we've got specific classes for that.
Okay.
That's 6:30 a.m., 9 a.m., and 6:30 p.m. So if you want to come to any of those classes, start out. That's where Adam's going to be starting.
Perfect. All right. That sounds good. And what days of the week is that class?
5 days.
Oh, it's all 5 days.
Monday through Friday.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And it's not a stacking class. So you can come on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or you can come Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. It's not like algebra. You can come when you please.
Very cool. All right. Well, I think that wraps up the interview. Unless you have any other questions?
Nope, I'm good.
No? Well, Allie, we thank you very much for coming in here, and we hope that this becomes a regular stopping point for you because we'd love to have you back in.
Sure.
I would love to get you in here with Tach and Jay as well, so we get the whole cast.
Looking forward to that. I've got the feeling that it'll be quite the snowball effect.
It's a band of it really is a band of brothers in here, but it is punches left and right. I don't think anything we could say could convince Jay to go work out. Tach is ready to hop on board immediately. He lives in Titusville, so it's a little bit of a drive for him.
I've got diabetes on my side.
Well, you know what? That's a great point. That's a fantastic point. Well, cool. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in. We'll wrap up this segment. We'll come back with a little bit of Guyry in the studio.
Fantastic. It's a pleasure to meet y'all.
And if you ever need another career, you're always good at voice. I'm just saying. All right. We'll be right back.
Boys seem to like the girls who laugh at anything. The ones who get undressed before the second date. Girls seem to like the boys that don't appreciate all them. Yeah, and it's not that it takes to be fly as mother.
All right. Welcome back to Living Podcariously. It's an awesome interview with Allie, I thought. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's a cool interview. And goddamn, what a voice. Man, he's got a voice.
Put it down.
Where's Jay when we need him? Adam, your erection is showing. I should insert that into this. listen to this show. All right, Andrea found something that's really cool, and we're going to do this. This is the ultimate battle of the sexes. It's 20 short questions, 10 for guy, 10 for girl. And
hey, hold on. If it's not any good, I didn't find it all.
Oh,
I suggested you find
so
one.
we randomly found this particular.
It was bad. This is Adam's fault.
All right. So we're going to go through these real quick, and this will determine who is the dominant sex, either men or women, based on this little contest right here.
It's going to be like the Facebook quizzes. It knows everything.
By the way, this quiz is from funtrivia.com. All right. For the girls, Andrea.
Okay.
Which martial art did Bruce Lee develop? This is multiple choice. Ninjutsu, Jeet Kune Do, Choi Li Fut, or Wing Chun?
I'll go with
Ninjutsu, Jeet Kune Do, Choi Li Fut, or Wing Chun?
on the SATs. Don't you always go with like C?
C is the typical answer you would go with for an SAT guess. Yes.
So we'll go with C.
All right. That is Choi Li Fut.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh, great.
All right. For the guys, this is for me. Your girlfriend or wife says, I want a Perrier. And you say, okay, let me go get you one. What is Perrier?
That's easy.
A tiny white grape, a small Yorkshire dog, a French sparkling water, or a type of Italian purse. That is a French sparkling
That's
water,
not even
Alex.
fair.
Next, for the girls. Andrea, whose movie name is Detective John McClane? Harrison Ford, Bruce Willis,
Why are all my movie stuff?
Steven Seagal, and Mel Gibson. And I will tell you. Well, no, I won't tell you anything. All right, go ahead.
I missed it because I interrupted you.
Whose movie name is Detective John McClane?
Why are they both movie questions? It's ridiculous.
Harrison Ford, Bruce Willis, Steven Seagal, or Mel Gibson?
I don't even know who that is. Okay, what were the actors again?
Harrison Ford. You know who that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Bruce Willis. You know who that is, right?
Yeah, he's more boy movies, so I'm going with him so far.
Ooh, okay. Good theory there. Steven Seagal. That's the long ponytail haired dude. That
I know who the
okay.
people are. So
And Mel Gibson.
I'll go with B.
Bruce Willis. Good choice, by the way. For the guys, what color, most closely, is a sterling silver rose?
Really?
Yellow, white, violet, or baby blue? There's no red in here. This is a rose.
It's a sterling silver rose.
What color most closely is a sterling silver rose? Yellow, white, violet, or baby blue? I don't know the answer to this. I don't know what a sterling silver rose is. Let's go white. No idea. All right, for the gals. Who was the last American to win the World's Strongest Man Championship in the 20th century? All right. Well, listen to the names. The clue here is who was the last American to win the World's Strongest Man competition in the 20th century? Steve Kirett, Mangus Samuelson, Bill Kazmaier, or Jamie Reeves?
Jamie Reeves.
Let's go with Jamie Reeves. I don't know the answer to this one, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Wait, that's for the men. You're supposed to know it.
For the guys, number 6 is mine. If a girl says she wears a size 9 shoe in women's American sizes, what is the equivalent to it in men's? That's easy. That's an 8. Right? Oh, so the answers are 10, 6, 7, and 12. So obviously not 8. If a girl says she wears a size 9 shoe in women's American sizes, what is the equivalent to... Oh, it's a 7. It's one size smaller. No, that's 2 sizes. What the fuck? What's the answer here, Andrea?
I can't tell you.
If a girl says she wears a size 9 shoe in women's sizes Americans, what is the equivalent to it in men's American sizes? So if she's an 8...
No, she's a 9.
No, she's a size 9. I thought that would be guy size 10. One size bigger. Right? We're going to go with 10. I don't fucking know. I sold shoes for 2 years too. I should have known this. All right, for the girls.
2 sizes.
Who won the first Super Bowl? Your choices are the Oakland Raiders, the Miami Dolphins, the Green Bay Packers, or the Kansas City Chiefs. Hey, you didn't help me with Sterling Rose. I'm not going to help you with this.
What was the first one again?
Oakland Raiders, Miami Dolphins, Green Bay Packers, or Kansas City Chiefs?
Is it the Packers or the Raiders?
I don't know the answer to this.
You really don't?
No.
I'll go with the Packers. No, the Raiders. No, the Packers. Probably neither one of those are right.
Which one?
There's probably guys going, are you freaking kidding me? I'll go with the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers. All right, for the guys. Who wrote the book Little Women?
Aw, I love that book.
Charlotte Bronte, Emily Dickinson, Jane Austen, or Louisa May Alcott? I'm going to go Emily Dickinson, only because that's more of a well-known author. Maybe I'm going to change my answer now to Jane Austen?
Huh? What? I'm not saying a word.
She laughed at my choice of Emily Dickinson. I don't know. It says Dick in the name. I kind of like it. All right, for the gals. In the animated show Transformers, who was the leader of the Autobots?
Another movie one?
This isn't movie.
So all guys know?
It's an animated show, cartoon. So in the cartoon Transformers, who was the leader of the Autobots? Your choices: She-Ra,
no.
Megatron,
yes,
Shockwave,
Megatron,
or Optimus Prime.
Oh, Optimus Prime.
Mm.
Wait, what is it? Who is the what?
Who is the leader of the
Optimus Prime
Autobots?
Oh, there's more than
you have Transformers and Autobots. Yes,
Transformers is Optimus Prime.
So you're going to go with Megatron?
Yes.
All right, Megatron it is. For the guys, Lollipop, Sunny Days, and Sweetberry are all characters in what animated TV show?
You know this one.
I don't know it, but based on the name Sweetberry, Sunny Days, and Lollipop, the first one kind of points out obvious to me. So here's the choices: Strawberry Shortcake, My Little Pony, Rainbow Bright, and Hello Kitty.
Well, I gave you a hint by saying you should know this one.
I should know this, so it's probably My Little Pony. That's just because Andrea's daughter is a huge My Little Ponies fan. All right, number 11, for the gals. In boxing, a KO is the
knockout.
Let me finish. Is the acronym for knockout.
Oh.
What does the, quote, T in the acronym of TKO stand for?
What?
Here are your choices. Total.
TKO?
Mm-hmm. So
total
you know,
knockout?
Well, here's your choices. Total, technical, timed, or tertiary.
Tertiary is like beside each other. Thinking of colors.
So if KO means knockout, what does TKO mean? Your choices again: total, technical, timed, or tertiary.
Timed?
Timed? Timed it is. Choosing timed.
Maybe?
For the guys, how many
or
total?
Technical, maybe. All right, I already guessed that.
No, you can change it if you want. Let me know. Total, technical, timed, or tertiary?
I'll keep timed.
All right.
Because there is a time in boxing. Maybe they run out of time. That wouldn't make any sense.
For the guys, how many total pills are standard in a prescription of monthly birth control? Well, there's usually 30 days in a month. Here's my options: 31, 28, 30, or 25. 30 is the most common day that there is in a month. However, this might have something to do with the length of a girl's cycle, and her cycle is just under a month, like a couple days.
These questions are so unfair. These are all stereotypical female questions.
I legitimately don't know the answer to this. The answer should be E, none of the above. The answer should be E, not enough pills for birth control are given to girl. All right, so I'm going to choose 28, just based on what I think I understand about a woman's cycle, and that it's 28 days, not a 30-day cycle. All right, for the girls, which of the following is not a handgun? A Desert Eagle .50 or 50 caliber, a Ruger 9mm, a .300 Winchester Magnum, or a Smith & Wesson .357.
The first thing, the Desert Eagle.
The Desert Eagle 50? All right.
Oh, you didn't say 50. You just said Desert Eagle.
And I said Desert Eagle .50 or 50 caliber.
I thought that was the B.
B is a Ruger 9mm.
I thought Desert Eagle.
Here are your choices again.
Okay.
Desert Eagle .50, which is a 50 caliber.
Well, then that's a gun. You said 50 caliber.
All right, so I'll read them exactly how they're stated. Desert Eagle, .50. Ruger, 9mm. .300. Winchester Magnum. Smith & Wesson, .357.
Is a Magnum a condom, though?
I cannot answer this question. This is not Q&A. This is pick one.
I don't know. B?
B. Ruger 9mm or 9mm.
Oh, that's a gun.
All right. Do you want to switch your answer?
They're all guns.
I'll guarantee you that one of these is not a gun.
The condom?
You want to go with the 300 Winchester Magnum?
This is a gun, too. It's not a gun?
We'll go with that one. For the guys, which boy band is/was Nick Carter a part of? This is easy. This is Backstreet Boys.
That's stupid. The girls' ones are way
I like
harder.
these questions. For the gals, where on the body would you find the muscle, quote, abductor longus, unquote? Is that on the outer hip, the upper stomach, the inner thigh, or the middle back? I get a question about Backstreet Boys, and she gets a question about adductor longus.
Anatomy?
Nice. You should know this.
I should,
As a
but
cosmetologist, you should, right?
that was years ago, and I made flashcards and got rid of those.
ADDUCTOR,
That's somewhere
adductor,
around here.
LONGUS, longus.
What were they again?
Outer hip, upper stomach,
Outer hip.
upper stomach, inner thigh. You want me to show you my inner thigh? And middle back.
Abductor.
Adductor, not ab, but ADD, adductor longus.
This quiz is just making me feel ignorant.
This was your idea.
A man wrote this stupid quiz.
I'm just going to pick for you.
You can't pick for me unless it's the right answer. You know the right answer?
No, I don't know this one.
Do you think it's the upper stomach?
Adductor longus.
Or do you think it's
No.
the hip?
I think it's the outer hip.
That's what I was guessing.
All right, we'll go with outer hip. For the guys, what is the name of a popular designer of ladies' shoes?
That's easy.
Sean Tootsies, Steve Madden, Lane Scholar, or Frederick Noir?
So easy.
Well, that's a Steve Madden for the answer.
See, that's ridiculous. He also makes...
Number 17 for the gals. According to nursery rhymes, girls are made of sugar, spice, and everything nice. Which of the following are boys not made of?
Snakes and snails and puppy dog tells us what they are made of.
So here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's the answers. A is puppy dog tails. B,
made of that.
snips and slugs.
Oh, yeah, that's another
C,
condition.
nips or naps.
Nips or naps?
D, snails.
Nips or naps?
A, B, C, or D.
C.
So the boys are not made of nips or naps.
No nips or naps.
All right. Number 18 for the guys. What is the name of the mascot for the women's workforce in America during World War II? Often shown sporting in red bandana. Oh, I don't know her name. Dorothy, Elizabeth, Susan, or Rosie?
I know it.
Damn, our friend Amber was this for
she
Christmas.
was that for Christmas. Yes, she
for
was.
Halloween. You said it too.
I did. Yes.
Who was she?
I knew who she was.
I think she was Susie or Susan. Is it Elizabeth? I don't know the answer to this. Rosie? Well, Dorothy? Fuck, I don't know. We're going with Rosie. Whatever. Is that right? Sweet. For the gals, in golf, which of the following clubs... Oh, wait, you were a manager of a golf club, weren't you? Or a golf thing in high
third
school?
on the golf team.
There you go. See?
There were only 3 girls.
Oh, well, that didn't work out so well. All right, for the gals, in golf, which of the following clubs typically has the least loft?
I don't know. I just got to miss school.
Nice. Pitching wedge, sand wedge, lob wedge, or gap wedge.
It has the what?
The gap wedge is when a thong is on too tight. The least amount of loft, pitching wedge.
Of loft?
Loft, L-O-F-T.
Does this have to do with interior decorating?
It's like the angle that the ball is hit.
The angle of the ball?
The angle on the club where the ball is struck.
Okay, and it has the least amount of angle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a good replacement word. Pitching wedge, sand wedge, lob wedge, or gap wedge. 2 of these clubs I didn't even know existed.
The lob wedge?
Is that what you were going to go with?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't even know lob and gap wedge were a thing.
So it was A.
No, A is pitching wedge.
Oh, no. And
B
the
is sand
sand
wedge.
wedge is going to give you angles.
C is lob wedge. D is gap wedge. So we're going to the lob wedge. All right, for the guys. And the last question, which of the following is not a brand name of sewing machine? Oh. Which of the brand name is not? So here's the 4 brand names. Simplicity, Singer, which I know is a sewing machine, Sonata, and Bernina. I'll be honest, I don't know any of those other 3. Can I choose 3? I'm going to go Sonata. I have no idea.
Because that sounds like a car. I don't know either.
I know
this
Singer.
Is sexist.
I know Singer is
Why does
a
it say?
brand.
Because there are guys who are better sewers
You ready?
than female, and there are females who are better golfers than guys.
You ready?
Sexist.
Submit my answers. So number 1, the question about martial arts. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So this stupid quiz doesn't tell us who's smarter, guys or girls, so we'll have to do it ourselves. All right, so for the gals, which martial art did Bruce Lee develop? You have that wrong. Your choice was Choi Lee Foot. It was actually Jeet Kune Do. So one against the girls. For the guys, your girlfriend wife says, I want a Perrier. I know what that is. That is a sparkling water. That is correct.
Everyone knows that. It's not
So are you
going to
only mark off the ones? Like,
when? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So next for the girls, whose movie name is Detective John McClane. You luckily answered Bruce Willis.
Yay!
Detective John McClane was played by Bruce Willis in a Christmas special called Die Hard. All right, for the guys, what color most closely is sterling silver rose? I picked white. The answer is violet, so that's 1 against guys on this test. For the gals, who's the last American to win the World's Strongest Man Championship? Blah, 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 blah. We said Jamie Reeves. The real answer is Bill Kazmaier. So 1 against the girls.
We're 1-1 now.
For the guys, if a girl says she wears a size 9 shoe in women, what does that actually mean?
It's 2 sizes.
2 size. Yeah, my answer was 10. The correct answer is 7. So 1 against the guys there.
It's 2 lower.
So 1 against the girls there.
Still
guys,
1-1. I've got it tallied.
You missed
right?
one.
No, I didn't.
And these are strikes against?
I'm just when you get it right.
Oh, when you get it right. Oh yeah, I think that is right. Yeah. All right. Question number 7 for the gals. Who won the first Super Bowl? You correctly answered Green Bay Packers.
Yay!
Good
I am
job.
such a diehard football fan now.
For the guys, who wrote the book Little Women? I picked Emily Dickinson. Nope, it is Louisa May Alcott.
Emily Dickinson wrote poems.
For the gals, in the animated TV show Transformers, who was the leader of the Autobots? No, Megatron is wrong. The correct answer you had is
Was
Optimus
Optimus
Prime.
I thought he was a Transformer.
They were Decepticons.
Transformers and Decepticons are the same thing.
Autobots, it's like humans and then guys and girls.
You made me think it was a totally different cartoon.
Sorry, little deception going on
Yeah,
there.
that doesn't.
That should be double
I
points
should get
for Adam.
half a point.
If you give yourself half a point,
deceiving
I
me.
get a point for
You
deceiving you.
deceived me. That's not even
You
fair.
reached for it. All right, from the guys, this is for the guys. Lollipop Sunny Days and Sweetberry are all
And I
characters.
gave that
in
to
what
you.
Anna? Yes, you did. This is My Little Pony.
Totally
that right.
gave that to you, and I thought you were helping me with the Transformers.
For the gals, in a boxing, KO is an acronym for knockout. What is TKO? The correct answer is not timed. It is technical.
That's one I wanted to pick.
For the guys, how many total pills are there in a standard prescription? And Adam nails this with 28.
Your answers are so much easier.
For the gals, which of the following is not a handgun, you chose the 300 Winchester Magnum, and that is correct.
Yay.
The Smith & Wesson can fire both 357 and 38 special rounds. For the guys, which boy band is Nick Carter part of? Yes, Backstreet Boys is obviously the correct answer, and I got that, but I
You
lost.
want to know what's funny?
But I lost
wouldn't
my
have
man
known
card.
that at all.
Really?
Not at all. I don't know
Oh,
any
wow.
of the Backstreet Boys. Never listened to any of their songs.
For the gals, where on the body would you find the muscle adductor longus? Outer hip was our answer. No, it is the inner thigh. The muscle group adductors is found on the outer hip. Oh, abductors is found on the outer hip. Yeah, that's what we were totally thinking. For the guys, what popular shoe designer? What is the name of a popular shoe designer for
So
ladies?
easy.
Yes, Steve Madden. That's mine all day long. For the gals, according to nursery rhymes, girls are made of sugar. You chose girls are made of sugar, spice, and everything nice, which the following are boys not made of. You chose Nips or Naps, and that is correct. For the guys, what is the name of the mascot for the women's workforce in America during World War II? You clapped when I got this. It is right. Rosie. Number 19 for the gals. In golf, which of the following clubs typically has the least loft? Lob wedge is what you chose? No, the correct answer is pitching wedge, and it actually gives their...
And you didn't know it either.
No, I didn't. I would have got that wrong. And finally, number 20 for the guys, which of the following is not brand name of sewing machine? I picked Sonata, and I picked right.
Duh.
Sweet.
Yeah, you won, because you know your Backstreet Boys and sewing machines.
What's the score?
7-4.
7-4, guys to girls. I think we just determined on Living Podcariously who wins the battle of sexes.
I'm so glad that you know your Backstreet Boys and sewing machines.
Yeah.
I think the girls win because if men know these answers, obviously.
What are you saying about me over there?
Obviously, women are winning because men know stuff about women, and we're too full of ourselves to care about what the fuck you guys are doing.
You know what, though? Tach would get 20.
Win.
Tach would get 20 out of 20 on this test.
We win because we don't give a fuck what the guys are doing, and they care so much about us.
All right, we're going to take another break in studio. When we come back, we'll be with Andrea's Guyry segments. Peering into the inner thoughts and expressions of men. Women submit questions for Adam and Tach to get brutal, honest admissions. We call this the Guyry. Guyry? Really? Is that the best we could come up with?
All right, Adam and guys that aren't here.
Crickets.
Our first question comes from Cindy in Florida. I'm going on vacation with my boyfriend and 2 other couples. The other girls are bronzed goddesses, and I'm super pale in comparison. Should I get a spray tan? Do guys care about skin color? I'm scared I will look worse if it turns me orange, but I don't want to blind people with my whiteness.
So each guy is different in their preferences. So this is difficult to answer on behalf of all men, but no, guys don't care about tans. We don't want burns. So if you do want to get a darker color to your skin, then yeah, spray tan is probably a pretty good way to go.
You'll still burn with the spray tan though. There's no SPF. You said you don't like burns.
You won't burn from a spray tan. There's no sun. There's no ultraviolet light.
I see what you're saying. I thought you meant like when she's out on this vacation, she will still burn.
Yeah, no. Don't burn yourself in the attempt to try to get a good tan.
In a tanning booth.
Yeah.
Got it.
No. So for me, no. If I'm attracted to the girl, I don't care about the skin color. That's not important to me. If the girl turns me on both, physically with her appearance, and then also with her personality, I could give a shit what color her skin is. However, since I've started dating you, I've grown in a very fondness and appreciation for melatonin in the skin? Or melanin? Melanin in the skin, and I love your milky white thighs. Okay, sorry. Yeah, this is an explicit show, so we can say those kinds of things.
Well, I'm sure they don't want to hear our explicitness.
And I can say these kinds of things this week with no Tach and no Jay. So.
Yeah, they're not here to make fun of you, huh?
Damn right.
All right, number 2 comes from Elizabeth in Texas. What do you think the difference between men and women are when it comes to what they think about love?
Wow. About love, the differences, what men and women think when it comes to love. I think the emotion is the same as far as the emotion of love, I think, is the same. However, the comfort taken from love, I think, could potentially be different for girls and guys. Maybe for girls, love, when they fall in love with a guy, they feel some sort of security in having that guy. And I know this sounds sexist, it's not intended to, but they derive a sense of security and a sense of protection. And maybe in some situations, a sense of what's the ability to earn a living. That they get those things out of that as well. So that all adds to the emotion. For guys,
security. Is that what you're looking for?
I said security already, but for guys, I think it's, again, love is the emotion, is the same chemicals, is the same stimulus in the brain, is the exact same thing. However, what helps guys, I think, is a sense of pride. that they're proud of the woman that has, is in their life, and there maybe a sense of humility. Like, I'm loving this woman, especially because she picked some god awful ugly guy like me to fall in love with. So I think there are little different, perspectives on it, but the emotion itself, I think, is exactly the same. I think the triggers of endorphins that rush through your system when you see this person are the exact same triggers in both people.
The way they express it is different.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Oh, expressions are completely different, like outward expressions. But yes, hopefully that answered her question. We need Tach for the sensitive questions in here in studio.
You should have called him.
Yep, you're right. I probably should have. Number
3 is from Melissa in Ohio. Our relationship started out with my boyfriend pursuing me like I was the center of his universe. But somehow as time goes by, I get a feeling in the pit of my stomach that he's losing interest in me. He no longer seems to be putting in the effort he once did. How do I get him to chase me again?
So this is an issue that a lot of guys have, and it's a matter of falling into complacency in the relationship and taking for granted what you've got. The initial butterflies in the stomach and the drive for seeking a relationship is never going to always be there. However, mostly because that's a new relationship and you cannot replicate those types of butterflies or those types of feelings. However, you can curb things in the relationship that can show that can show your significant other that they're not giving you enough attention or affection or whatever it is that's missing in that life. There are ways that you can do that without being obvious and outright. And now I got to think of some of the ways. Mostly you just need to let him know that you recognize that he's falling into a complacent state, that he's falling into that state where, now that he's got that comfort of having you in his life, that he's no longer in the mode to seek you out for more comfort like that. You need to let him know that you recognize the complacency. I can't think of any good examples.
Wouldn't that make her seem needy though? Which goes into my next question from April in Wisconsin. How do I know if I'm being too needy, and how can I not be needy?
Oh yeah, you're doing some new shit on the show this week without Tach and Jay. You're intertwining some questions together here. Now I'm all confused. No, well, look, here's the bottom line. All people are individuals in this situation. So if she's not happy with something and she wants to figure out a way to rectify it, she needs to sound a little bit needy, because guess what? She does need it a little bit. And if that's what it takes for her to be happy, then she needs to speak up. She needs to, communicate her feelings. Too needy? How do you know if you're being too needy? My God, this is for April. My God. I don't know the way to answer that question. How does a girl know if she's being too needy? That's a difficult one to answer. And I'm starting to fall off.
What makes you or guys feel like the girl's being too needy? Like,
well, there's signs for guys, but that doesn't necessarily translate that a girl would recognize it. She wants to know, how would she recognize if she's being too needy?
She's going to recognize it because you're going to tell her that that's what's being too needy.
Again, for every guy, it's different, but it's in some situations it's physical. In some situations it's a controlling piece. Especially thinking about some of my past relationships, there has been so much control that has been like superseded into the relationship. If you always need to know, what your man, no, take this the correct way as I mean it, because I don't mean it like if you got to know where I am at all times, that ain't going to work. That's not what I'm meaning. Knowing where your significant other is important. However, keeping tabs on them like a GPS that's too needy. That's overbearing. And that sends some signals to guys that are a little bit scary for the rest of their lives if they're considering long-term relationship with you. If he says he's going to work, then going to hang out with the guys at the bar, then he'll be home afterwards. Unless you have a reason not to trust him, don't keep tabs on how long it takes him to get to the bar from his phone. Don't track him. Don't do any of that stuff. If you need that level of comfort to know what he's doing, then maybe there's something else in the relationship that needs to be looked at. But being too needy, damn, this is a really difficult thing for me to define.
So do you think that me injecting you with that GPS tracker when you were asleep is a little too much?
No, I thought it was just a wet dream about me getting some Never mind. No, that's okay. You know where I am at all times anyway. I don't know of any other good ways to identify that how a girl can find
We need
how the girl can know
guys.
she's needy.
We need other guys' opinions.
Yeah, we do. This is difficult not to be able to play off other guys in here. Save that question for next week too.
Okay.
That combination question.
All right. This one is from Hannah in Florida.
Hannah.
I want a committed booty call instead of a committed relationship. He is a truly awesome guy, but I started our friendship out on the wrong foot by sleeping with him and our roommate before him.
Ooh.
I don't want a serious relationship right now, but I want casual sex with one partner. Is it possible that he would be okay with me having sex with him, but not want to be clingy? But, jeez, I can't read this green stuff.
I think I understood it though.
Is it possible that he would be okay with me having sex with him, but not wanting the clingy relationship stuff? Am I being a total skank by asking, hey, want to have sex, but not call me and not buy me flowers? I feel like men have booty calls, but women don't. Why can't I have this one? Is it so wrong?
The desire for booty call is not wrong. In fact, some girls that I've known in the past and some guys that I've known in the past had just fuck buddies or just people that they would call just for that purpose alone. There's people that they trust that they could do that with. However, the guys always get a bad rap for this because they can detach emotions from sex. That's at least the stereotype for guys in this situation. Not all guys can do that. So before you spring this on this person, understand that this person may actually have a lot of feelings for you. And by telling them this, it's going to break his heart if he's got those feelings. So you need to be really careful with who you make that decision to do that with. And often, as I've seen it in the past, it still leads to more emotional attachments from one or the other in the situation. So even though
being monogamous, but not having any of the romantic stuff.
Right. Somebody still ends up, wanting more out of the relationship than just the sex. And somebody usually gets hurt in those situations. So I mean, you can always ask him the obvious stereotype of a guy being, oh, hell yeah, let's just have sex and nothing else. That's not always the case. It is occasionally, but usually it's not.
Well, especially if she just wants it to be like a closed booty call. Like that's a relationship, but she just doesn't want to deal with anything else.
So a monogamous booty call, just with no emotions attached. That really does sound like my first marriage. All right.
You had that much sex?
No, I take that back. I'm just kidding. All right.
Our last question comes from Hillary in Florida.
Hillary? Uh-oh.
I've been with my boyfriend for a while now. We've had our problems, but have worked through it all, and I really want him to pop the question already. There was a moment when he talked about us being married, but he joked that I should be the one to get him a ring. The topic hasn't come up again since, the topic hasn't come up again since, and at this point, I am just about ready to give him an ultimatum. Either he proposes or I'm leaving. I'm also thinking of just getting him a ring at this point, just to move this thing along. Can you help me figure this out?
Well, that's a good question to start off with is, when she's asked him, what are his reasons for not asking her yet? Because the guy's okay talking about that. If it's a money thing for the ring, then that's like she mentioned in that little story from Andrea in Florida.
What?
What? No, I'm just kidding. It sounds like a question you would ask me. Roll your eyes at me.
This is why I didn't want to do the guy with no other guys here. It sounds like all the questions are just questions I'm asking you.
It doesn't. So there's nothing wrong with just asking him not to marry you, because some guys might take offense to that, but ask him to get off the pot. I don't think an ultimatum, I don't think you should phrase that conversation in the form of an ultimatum, though. I think that's the wrong thing to do. Ask him.
A breakup.
Have a serious conversation about it. Say, look, joking aside, we've talked about it in the past. is marriage something that you are considering with me? Because if we're going down this path and you aren't even considering marriage, then it's time for me to move on and go somewhere else. You need to have that conversation with him. You need to kind of force his hand. Don't give him an ultimatum. Most people that I know when challenged with ultimatums get frustrated, so that it doesn't actually assist in the conversation.
Okay, well, that was the end of our diary.
Good questions. We're going to save a couple of those for next week because we didn't have full force of men in here this week.
Yeah, we'll give them a little recap and have them give their opinions of it.
Make it a mini diary. Keep the answers out of the guys for those extra questions down to like maybe 20 seconds a guy or a sentence.
Unless they want to elaborate, I'm sure the females would love to hear the opinions.
That's a good point.
All right, so I guess that's our
Do we want to wrap up the show?
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Christmas is over. We don't have to do any more rapping till next year.
Thank God.
No
more Christmas songs. All right. If you want to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/livingpodcariously. Follow us on Twitter @Podcarious. And we absolutely enjoyed having Allie Newell in here from 26.2 CrossFit out of Rockledge, Florida.
And catch us on Podcast Radio Network on Wednesdays at 8 p.m.
Wednesdays at 8, podcastradionnetwork.net, I think is what it is. There's an app out there so you can listen. Podcast Radio Network has got about 40 or 50 different podcasts that he airs on there. So go check him out. It's a really good network he's got going on.
If you have a question for the diary, just look me up on Facebook, send it to me.
Or send it to show@livingpodcariously, and we'll make sure it gets into Andrea's hands. Baby, you want to get out of here?
Let's go play Rock Band.
Deal. All right, have a good night, guys.